Bone is a hard connective tissue that forms the structural framework of the body. It provides support and protection to the body's organs, and also plays a key role in movement and locomotion. Bone is made up of cells, collagen fibers, and minerals such as calcium and phosphate. Bones come in a variety of shapes and sizes and are categorized based on their location and function in the body.
In modern, there are typically 206 bone in an adult. According to region, there are two types of bone. That is axial skeleton and appendicular skeleton. The axial skeleton consists of the bones that form the central axis of the body. It is composed of 80 bone that can be divided into three main groups: the skull, vertebral column, and rib cage or thoracic cage. These bones provide support and protection for the brain, spinal cord, and vital organs of the thorax. The skull is composed of 29 bones, including the cranial bones, facial bones, ear ossicles, and hyoid bone. The cranial bones protect the brain, the facial bones provide support and structure for the face. The ear ossicles are responsible for transmitting sound vibrations from the eardrum to the inner ear, and the hyoid bone is located in the anterior neck, just below the mandible. Cranial bones are the protective bony structure that protects the brain. These are flat bones that are joined together by immovable joints called sutures. There are 8 cranial bone which are given here. First one is frontal bone, which forms the forehead and roof of the eye sockets. Second one is parietal bones, which forms the sides and roof of the skull. The third one is temporal bone, which form the lower sides of the skull and contain the ear canals and the jaw joint. Fourth one is occipital bone, which forms the back of the skull and the base of the skull. Fifth one is sphenoid bone, which forms the central base of the skull and helps to connect the cranial bones together, and the last sixth one is ethmoid bone, which forms the roof and sides of the nasal cavity. The facial bones are to be part of the skull, which forms the protective bony structure around the brain. The facial bones provide shape and support to the face, protect the structures of the eyes, nose, and mouth, and provide attachment sites for the muscles of the face and jaws. There are 14 facial bones which are given below. The first one is maxilla, which are the upper jawbone that forms the central portion of the face and the floor of the orbits. Second one is zygomatic bones, which is also known as the cheekbones. It form the prominence of the cheeks and the lateral wall of the orbits. It contribute to the formation of the upper part of the face and the lower part of the eye socket. The third one is mandible, it the lower jawbone that forms the lower portion of the face and supports the teeth. Fourth one is nasal bones, which form the bridge of the nose and also contribute to the formation of the upper part of the face. Fifth one is palatine bones that form the back portion of the hard palate and roof of the mouth. Then the sixth one is inferior nasal conchae. These are thin, scroll-shaped bones that project from the lateral wall of the nasal cavity. Seventh one is lacrimal bone. It is thin, curved plate that forms the anterior portion of the medial wall of the orbit. It plays a key role in the drainage of tears, which is important for maintaining the health and function of the eye. The last one is vomer, is a flat bone that forms the lower portion of the nasal septum. The auditory ossicles are a group of 3 small bones located in the middle ear that play a crucial role in the process of hearing. The 3 bones are called the malleus, the incus, and the stapes. The malleus is the first of the 3 auditory ossicles and is shaped like a hammer, with a long handle and a rounded head. The handle of the malleus is attached to the eardrum, and when the eardrum vibrates in response to sound waves, it causes the malleus to move back and forth. The incus is the second of the auditory ossicles and is shaped like an anvil. It is attached to the malleus by a joint, and when the malleus moves, it causes the incus to move as well. The stapes is the third and smallest of the auditory ossicles and is shaped like a stirrup. It is attached to the incus by a joint. The hyoid bone is a U-shaped bone located in the neck between the chin and the thyroid cartilage. It is the only bone in the human body that is not connected to any other bone. The hyoid bone plays an important role in supporting the tongue and providing attachment. It also helps to maintain the shape of the airway, which is important for breathing. The vertebral column, also known as the backbone of body, is a series of 26 bones that make up the axial skeleton in humans.
It runs from the skull to the pelvis and provides support for the body and protection for the spinal cord. The vertebral column is composed of 7 cervical vertebrae, 12 thoracic vertebrae, 5 lumbar vertebrae, 1 sacrum and 1 coccyx. The cervical vertebrae are located in the neck and are the smallest and most mobile of the vertebrae. The first cervical vertebra, the atlas, articulates with the skull and allows for nodding of the head. The thoracic vertebrae are located in the upper back and are larger and less mobile than the cervical vertebrae. The thoracic vertebrae articulate with the ribs and help to protect the thoracic organs, such as the heart and lungs. The lumbar vertebrae are located in the lower back and are the largest and strongest of the vertebrae. They bear most of the weight of the upper body and are subject to a great deal of stress and strain. The sacrum and coccyx are located at the base of the vertebral column and provide attachment points for muscles and ligaments. The thoracic cage, also known as the rib cage, is a bony structure that protects the organs in the chest, including the heart and lungs. It is composed of ribs and the sternum. There are 12 pairs of ribs that attach to the thoracic vertebrae and curve around the front of the chest to attach to the sternum. The first 7 pairs of ribs are called true ribs, as they attach directly to the sternum. The next 3 pairs are called false ribs, as they attach to the sternum indirectly or not at all. The final 2 pairs of ribs are called floating ribs, as they do not attach to the sternum at all. The sternum is a flat, elongated bone that is located in the center of the chest. It is composed of 3 parts, the manubrium, the body, and the xiphoid process. In the next video we can study about appendicular skeleton. So subscribe the channel and never forget to press the bell icon. Thank you.